Inside every human cell lies a hidden library, the DNA. Tightly coiled within its spiral strands is the master code that governs every heartbeat, every thought, and every spark of emotion. Among its billions of instructions lies one of the most mysterious functions of all, the human ability to feel pleasure. In the brain, more than 86 billion neurons communicate through an ocean of electrical impulses. Every second, around 100,000 chemical messages travel between these neurons, creating the language of thought and emotion. When two neurons meet, they never touch. Instead, there's a microscopic gap between them called a synapse, the space where feelings are born. In this narrow void, molecules of dopamine are released. It takes only a few micrograms of dopamine to shift our entire mood. It is the molecule of motivation, desire, and reward. Nature's way of whispering, "Do that again." The human brain functions like a vast reward circuit. Whenever you experience something satisfying, food, affection, success, love, dopamine acts as the electric current that lights up your consciousness. As the heart accelerates, blood carries oxygen and hormones to the brain. Every cell begins to vibrate in harmony with that wave of pleasure. Meanwhile, endorphins, natural opioids produced in the pituitary gland, spread throughout the bloodstream. One molecule of endorphin is up to 200 times more potent than morphine, yet it leaves no addiction behind. Deep inside the brain, the nucleus accumbens glows brightly. It is the command center of bliss. A fully functioning brain can activate up to 100 billion neural connections in a single second, transforming emotion into an electrical symphony. At the very peak of pleasure, dopamine floods every pathway. Heart rate rises by 20%, and the body experiences a brief but powerful euphoria. Each neuron can fire more than 200 times per second, like fireworks lighting the night sky inside your skull. According to the US National Institutes of Health, dopamine levels can surge by 150 to 200% after sexual climax or a major life achievement. These electrical storms are not random. They encode learning, motivation, and survival. They are evolution's way of rewarding behaviors that keep us alive. When you smile, 43 facial muscles activate. Serotonin and endorphins are released, lowering blood pressure and reducing stress by nearly 25%. The brain's reward system not only gives pleasure, but records what caused it, so it can repeat the experience later. Serotonin, the hormone of satisfaction, maintains our sense of well-being. A mere 10 minutes of sunlight can raise serotonin levels by 15%, helping explain why light can lift our mood. But this delicate system can easily be deceived. Caffeine, sugar, and nicotine can mimic the reward signal, tricking the brain into thinking we are happy. A single can of soda can increase dopamine by 30% within 5 minutes, followed by a sudden crash that leaves us craving more. Every time you scroll through social media, each notification ping acts like a mini reward, triggering a quick burst of dopamine. This feedback loop was once essential for survival. Now it keeps billions of people endlessly checking their phones. Chronic stress, however, hijacks the system. When the body faces prolonged tension, it releases cortisol, the hormone of survival. At first, it sharpens our focus, but sustained exposure damages the hippocampus, the memory center of the brain. Studies show that more than 30 days of continuous stress can reduce new synapse formation by up to 30%. Signals slow down, neural bridges weaken, and the reward system begins to dim. Eventually, dopamine pathways collapse like a city losing power. The brain shuts down non-essential pleasure responses, conserving energy for survival. This is why prolonged stress or grief feels physically heavy. Biological depression emerges when both dopamine and serotonin fall below baseline levels. Just 20 minutes of severe stress can raise cortisol by 50%, flooding the bloodstream and clouding judgment. After 4 weeks of poor sleep and constant anxiety, dopamine receptor density can drop by 40%, making joy harder to feel. The brain effectively displays a warning. System error. Pleasure vanishes, replaced by emptiness. The person becomes detached, numb, and tired, not by choice, but by neurochemistry. Yet within this darkness lies something extraordinary, the brain's ability to heal itself. Even after severe depletion, it can rebuild. Within 7 days of rest, dopamine activity begins to rise again. Specialized enzymes like tyrosine hydroxylase repair DNA and restart neurotransmitter production. New synapses begin to grow. Neurons reconnect. The circuits of pleasure slowly come back online. Dopamine flow stabilizes, restoring natural motivation without artificial highs. The brain enters a state known as homeostasis, equilibrium between calm and excitement. Blood circulation improves, oxygenating every cell. Energy returns. Repair enzymes double their activity, sealing microscopic damage and reversing oxidative stress. One of the main causes of aging, neuron firing frequency returns to 40 to 70 Hz, the rhythm of alert wakefulness. The brain, in essence, reboots. At this stage, dopamine levels may double again. But now, they come from
Recovery
within,
system
not from
online.
external triggers. The body achieves systemic harmony. The heart, lungs, and brain beat in one biological rhythm. Scientists refer to this recovery stage as the 5 healing protocols, the 5 keys to restoring natural pleasure. The first is nutrition. Omega-3 fatty acids improve neuron conductivity by more than 35%. Vitamin B6 enhances dopamine production by activating an enzyme called aromatic L-amino acid decarboxylase. Tryptophan, an amino acid found in oats, bananas, and seeds, becomes serotonin, the chemical of peace. The second is sleep. 7 to 8 hours of deep rest increases dopamine receptor density by 25% and repairs emotional memory. The third is movement. Exercise remains the most accessible antidepressant. 30 minutes of running can double endorphin levels and raise serotonin by 20%, providing a natural high that lasts for hours. The fourth is breathing and oxygenation. 5 minutes of deep, slow breathing increases brain oxygen by 20%, while reducing heart rate by 10 beats per minute. Each minute, the heart pumps roughly 5 liters of oxygen-rich blood, renewing every cell. And finally, mindfulness and emotional connection. Meditation shifts brainwaves from beta to alpha, lowering cortisol by 30% within 15 minutes. As cortisol falls, the prefrontal cortex, the area that governs empathy and decision-making, brightens again. The brain begins producing endogenous dopamine, pleasure generated internally, independent of external rewards. A genuine smile can raise serotonin by 11%. A simple hug releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone that reduces anxiety and builds trust. Together, these natural chemicals weave the architecture of happiness. When balance returns, something remarkable happens. The heart, breath, and hormones synchronize. Every organ hums to the same internal rhythm, the rhythm of life. Waves of bioluminescent energy expand through the bloodstream. DNA itself begins to glow, rewriting a healthier code and erasing molecular scars. From a microscopic view, it looks like galaxies forming inside the body. The human body is indeed a universe in miniature. Each cell, a star, each neuron, a constellation. When all systems flow in perfect balance, the current of life moves effortlessly, sustaining vitality and emotional clarity. This is what modern science calls dynamic equilibrium, a living state of adaptation and renewal. The code of life constantly updates itself. It evolves with every breath you take, every thought you form. Your brain, the most advanced biological computer known, processes about 11 million bits of information per second, yet your conscious mind perceives only around 40. Like any intelligent system, it requires maintenance, rest to reset its circuits, nourishment to rebuild its chemistry, and gratitude to keep its software compassionate. When all these protocols align, the body enters a phase of complete renewal. Every cell vibrates in harmony. Every neural pathway shines. It is the biological equivalent of pressing reboot. System reboot complete. The code of life, your body, is nature's ultimate software. It learns, adapts, repairs, and evolves every single day. And just like any living code, it depends on you, your habits, your rest, your thoughts, to stay optimized. So update it wisely. Feed it with light, with movement, with calm. Because every moment of true pleasure